It is difficult. If you give me a writing task 1 and I have to sit down in 20 minutes and analyze the data, I don't know what I would get. You know, I consider myself a fairly capable writer in its own right, but it is a difficult thing to do. And
I think more so than any of the skills, or of any sections of the skills, writing part 1, and particularly the academic, it is critical that you understand what the task is. I don't really care what your opinion is on academic task 1. It's a matter of explaining what you see in the context that it is. Imagine that you're talking on the phone with a friend and he can't see that graph. Essentially, all you're doing is explaining what's going up, what's going down, what's the bigger section, what's the general picture, what are a few key identifiable factors within that chart or graph or what have you.
The biggest problem students encounter in dealing with task 1 is understanding the visual representation. So what I would tell them is they should really take a good chunk of time rather to understand what's presented there, what is it all about, and can you really say it in one sentence what it's all about. And I have found that to be very helpful because it would really help students not to list down every detail which is included in the chart or in.
My first big tip would be to keep to the time limit. It really is only 20 minutes, and bear in mind the very limited outline that you're going to be able to produce in that time.
The first tip is to break every writing task 1 down and create a small study guide for each. Make sure you know the grammar, the vocabulary, the nuances, the differences between each writing task 1. This way, when you end up getting whatever you get, you know how to approach that one specifically. It's not a one-size-fits-all.
The second thing would be to provide a clear overview at the beginning of your writing. Some people find this very difficult, but it really does help you to structure your body paragraphs. If you find it challenging to provide an overview, then you can always write your body paragraphs first and go back and write your introduction afterwards.
The second top tip is to practice each of the parts individually until you master them. We're not going to build a house until we can figure out how to nail a 2x4 together, right? So we have to figure out how to do that, get good at that before we can build the foundation for a house. And that's really, really important. So,
the third tip for task 1 is not to worry too much about adding a lot of detail or your own opinion. That will come in task 2.
The third top tip would be to keep it simple. I practice the keep it simple, stupid method, the KISS method with my students all the time.
You're not interjecting anything of your own opinion. You're not putting it in the context of whatever country you are. You're not making projections of how it may happen in the future. Look at the graph, describe it to a friend as if he can't see the graph himself.